Okay, this is a video diary of the more serious side of the gang stalking. Okay, the more serious side is the multiple false arrests and the multitude of people that lie, slander, and all the different things to railroad and sabotage my life. Okay, in Itasca of April of 2018, I left because I knew that this man was watching me. I had reported multitude of times that I believed that there was cameras because he would tell me what I was doing on fake pages. He would tell me about conversations that I had with my daughter. And under fake pages, he'd tell me what I was doing, what I had on. So I knew that he was watching me some kind of way. And I believed that it was with cameras that was in the house. And the police wouldn't do anything regarding it. They wouldn't take any of the reports or do an investigation to find them. So I eventually left and went to a domestic violence place. And when I went to the domestic violence place and came back, I had a false arrest waiting on me with my daughter, which my daughter witnessed April of 2018. In that community, I believe that I was getting railroaded and set up in that community. So after that, I've had a multitude of false arrests and slander from a multitude of people and agencies. So another experience that I've had is a lot of thefts. I've had identity theft, which I tried to report out of my bank account. $2,000 stole, and I tried to report it to the police because I believe that he was behind it. And they covered for it and threatened to take me to jail and police headquarters. They would not take the report. I've had multiple I've been pickpocketed multiple times. Police wouldn't take the reports of that because I believe that I was getting set up. I wasn't used to being homeless. I had never been homeless before. That was completely new to me, and it was extremely terrifying to be in this situation and be on the streets. See, with me walking down the street, there's people that start arguments, the street theater. Like the girl with her kids that I recorded. I was just walking down the road on the sidewalk, and she just started an argument, ran up on me and started an argument. And these people say I'm talking noise to them, and that's not what was happening. I didn't say anything to her. They're scheming for conflict and chaos. And the police was right there witnessing it. They threw bottles at me. A gang of people ganged up on me. She ran up on me like she was about to attack me. And the police, she did that in front of her kids, and the police just watched it and did nothing. So I have things like that occurring all the time. In addition to that, my card would disable on a whim when I was trying to get to a hotel. Because like I said, I was never homeless before. So it was scary to me going through this homeless. So my card would disable on a whim to where I couldn't use it. I tried to report it in Dangerfield and got arrested. I tried to report it in Longview. They wouldn't take the reports. And eventually my card disabled to where I couldn't use it at all. And I eventually had to go to the child support division, and I reported it to them that someone was controlling my card. And I told them that the police wouldn't take the report. They said, well, what evidence do you have that someone has been controlling your card? I said, just look at it, look into the situation, and then plus I'm here. My card's disabled now. I didn't tell you to disable my card. Then it stopped. So, but I had a lot of times my card would just disable on a whim when I needed it most, trying to get into a hotel or trying to get food. It was getting controlled. So in addition to that, I had the pickpocketing multitude of times. I was attacked and my phone was stolen multitude of times. I would go into these businesses and they would set up to where I couldn't get services there. A lot of times these businesses were convenient and they were lifelines of food sources. So it was very inconvenient for them to scheme to where I can't have services because it was the area that I lived in, on bus lines or walking. So another time at Viewpoint Bank in 2018, I have been banking at Viewpoint for a long time, and Viewpoint would not give me my funds that I had in the account when I was destitute off Illinois with ID, and I tried to call the police on the bank. And the police wouldn't take the report because I had been banking there a long time. How can someone talk a bank into not giving you your money? So they wouldn't give me my money off Illinois. So I went to another location in Garland and they wouldn't give me my money. So then I went to Forest, I believe in Preston, Viewpoint. And I only communicated with her in writing because I could tell they were scheming not to give me my funds. So she was furious that I only communicated with her in writing because I wanted evidence that they were scheming to not give me my money when I had ID and proof of who I was. I had been banking there years. So she was furious because I only communicated with her in writing. She was forced to give me my money that I deserved to have anyway. This was my money in the bank account that they were scheming so I couldn't get. So she threw my money at me and forced me to close my account. I only wanted a certain amount out, but she forced me to close my account and threw my money at me because I only communicated with her in writing. I told her my throat hurt and I wanted to communicate only in writing. I wrote down the question that she asked me because they were saying that I wasn't answering the questions properly, which wasn't the truth. So I wrote down the questions that she asked and I wrote down the answer so I'd have evidence that they were railroading me and keeping me from my funds in my account. So we have the card disabling on a whim, pickpocketing. The police wouldn't take the reports of none of this. They wouldn't take the reports of the identity theft and threatened to take me to jail for reporting identity theft out my bank account. Food stamps coming up missing, money off of a food stamp card, and Human Services lying to cover for it. First, they said that it was money stolen off the card and even gave me a printout. Now they won't give me printouts or any evidence of what they're saying. Then they changed it to I didn't pick my money up, so then they took it back. So these are blatant lies by Health and Human Services, by my bank, by police departments, by agencies and, a lot of these organizations that can cause a lot of havoc and problems in my life. Then we have problems with my child support. How do you do that? Child support, a lot of money in child support came up missing multiple times, and they cannot give me answers on what is going on with my child support payments, how they came up missing when I needed them most. In addition to that, why I have my child support payments, I got partial payments. And where did they go, the partial payments? They don't have answers to that. In addition to that, when a lot of times on these false arrests, when I go to jail, they put me in isolation. They withhold court. I get threatened in jail. They don't. When I'm in isolation, they give me food that other inmates they don't have. They mistreat me. They deny recreation, law library, church, different things. A lot of inmate services they withhold from me, and different things, court. So bonds as well. They do all of this while I'm in jail on false charges, so it don't end there. And a lot of times the inmates will threaten me in jail too. I believe it's staged and set up. So that is the more serious side. And I go into a lot of these businesses like I did at KFC, and they yell, "Get out." And then call IPS when I caught the bus there. And it's not easy to catch the bus because a lot of times the bus leave me. They don't give me route information for where I'm going a lot of times, and I have that recorded. I don't know how you can talk someone into doing that, but these are actual events that I've experienced. So we have these multiple false arrests, and a lot of times I wasn't able to record all of this, like I was with the KFC, like I was at the bus stop. What would have happened if I wasn't recording that? They actually detained me, like at Salvation Army. I knew that Salvation Army wasn't safe because they weren't giving me services, and then they were lying about a lot of other different things and services and sabotaging my life there. So I called the police trying to get out of Salvation Army and get in a safe environment. They covered for it. I went to the Family Place trying to get into a safe environment. Family Place wouldn't help me. I went to City Square. They wouldn't help me. So I was stuck at the Family Place that I felt was being controlled. And eventually they lied on me, said that I was blocking traffic at the courtyard, and the courtyard was not by traffic, and I was on camera footage sitting there. It's a little area on their property that you can go outside that's not by traffic or anything, so I couldn't have been blocking traffic. It was a blatant lie. Police have the information. That's a crime to do that. They won't investigate. That's criminal. All these lies and all this slander, these are crimes that aren't being investigated, or to my knowledge, aren't being investigated, and there's no justice behind it at this point. So we have 2018 where I went to jail, was arrested in front of my daughter, and she's screaming in terror, and I haven't been able to see her properly since the arrest. We have my phones, multiple phones getting stolen. I was attacked and my phone was stolen because I was able to record these events. We have my phone stop. My phone would stop working on a whim. I'd call in emergency situations trying to get the police out. They wouldn't come. They cover for the crimes. They'd arrest me to cover for it. We have me walking down the road, getting harassed, going into stores, the stores lying on me, along with the police. We have me getting threatened on trains and on bus drivers coming for it, lying on, bus drivers and police coming to cover for it and lie and scheme and sabotage to frame me in the experience. We have me going to jail and getting threatened and mistreated there, court denied, bonds denied. And a lot of times on these false arrests, I was actually relieved that I went to jail because I didn't know if they were going to kill me because there was so many parties involved in slandering me and violating my life. We have me trying to catch the bus and bus drivers leaving me, lying on me, and not giving me route information. I know this is an incredible story, but this is actually what happened. So that is the more serious side to the gang stalking, and it was a lot of terror because I wasn't used to being homeless. And I was forced into homelessness and to live this life because I could not get services. Right now, my family is still getting railroaded because I'm not able to get services. A lot of these places, they have their own in-house legal. They're not giving me any of these services. They're saying, I don't know how to help you. So I call all these places and I'm getting denied services. I went to multiple different legal aids and they would not give me the services. So I just go spin my wheels going place to place to place to get denied services. I went to a legal advocate and then someone intervened in that, the same man that intervened in me getting the protection order. He intervened in me getting legal advocacy. Police have been there to intervene in me getting services. When I got arrested at New Beginnings, before that, I got ran off the road going to New Beginnings, trying to get in a safe environment. And I got ran off the road. I had footage of the guy that was in the middle of the road. I had him recorded in the middle of the road, got outside of his car, ran me out the road, and was sitting there in the middle of the road. And I recorded it. Police covered for it and told the shelter not to help me and told them to give me an appointment a month away. So since they gave me an appointment a month away, I went to the support group and then got arrested there. So that is the more serious side about the terror of not, each area that you're going to have it sabotaged, to have someone watching you in your home and then the police cover for it, and then the lies and then the slander, to sabotage your life. I still can't see my daughter. And it is proven lies and slander. And what do I do about it? And I get up and go, call place to place to place. And for them not to help me and deny services, I think someone is going behind me and telling these people not to help me. That's what I think is happening. I think these services are being sabotaged. All one would have to do is any kind of investigation at all. And you can see that I'm getting railroaded. It's not hard. Look at the camera footage when I walk in these stores. You can see that I'm not doing anything. If you roll back the camera footage, that these places are slandering me. Like at the bus stop, when IPS came there, when they came to KFC, when they came to Salvation Army. When I'm making these reports and how they have IPS to cover for the incidences. My phone, it is incredible what I'm saying, but I do have proof that my call of a spoof call. Why would all these places deny me services? Place after place that I call on my phone, what's going on? At one point I tried to call and get counseling. They'd hang up and start arguments over the phone and they would deny me counseling. So who was I talking to on my phone? Why would they do that? So I just spin my wheels all this time calling place to place to place to get denied services, or go in person to get denied services. I can't get services with Frank Crowley. The victim's advocacy, I'm not getting these services. I'm not getting their legal. So I'm railroaded. So that's the more serious side. The mail issue, I wrote civil rights activists. I wrote surrounding FBI locations because I didn't know if this state and the locations here was corrupt. So I wrote other surrounding states, FBI. I wrote organizations for parents that are experiencing problems, domestic violence places for stalking, attorneys for services, and my sister wouldn't give me my mail. And then I reported her, and the police covered for it. In addition to that, I put holes at the post office, like 4 different holes, and the post office would not honor the holes. So I called the police on the post office because I'm fighting for my life. I really did believe my life was in jeopardy. All these people lying on me, false arrests, cameras, getting mistreated in jail, walking down the road, getting threatened on bus, police covering for that. All these multiple lies and schemes, I really did think my life was in jeopardy. So I called the police on the post office, and the police covered for the post office not giving me my mail. I haven't received any mail from that location, not one stitch, period, where I wrote all these different agencies. My sister won't give me the mail or the post office. Not one piece of mail at all. And I got on a blog and gave that address on a popular civil rights activist blog. So this is the more serious side of the gang stalking and, the terror of walking down the road and going through these stores and you're not safe there. It made me feel hunted. Not being able to use my card on a whim, not being able to get money out my bank account, child support coming up missing, food stamps, and all the slander and lies and harassment. And mind you, I don't know of an investigation that's going on. The police kept covering for my experiences. I don't know of any consequences for him arresting me in front of my daughter and on these multiple different occasions, and having the police department arrest me and lie and slander in the reports to cover for the crimes and the harassment schemes. So that is the more serious side.